ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथस्वामिति नाम्ने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नाम्ने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पार्श्वतदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hello everyone, namaste, Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Gita study session. So this Sunday we will be celebrating Jagannath Radha Yatra at Trikor Lake. That starts at 2 p.m. onwards. So today's session we'll do Gita for like up to 7:20, and last 10-15 minutes we'll talk about Jagannath Radha Yatra. So I'm going to talk about the pastimes of Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, who is Jagannath, why we celebrate this Radha Yatra, and what is the pastime behind it. So we'll see in the today's session, last 20 minutes, we'll see that. So let me share my screen. From this. Let me mute. But you have to. Okay, so as I said, we'll do Bhagavad Gita session until 7:15 or 7:20, and the rest of the time we'll talk about the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. Okay. So in the Gita session, so we are in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled Karma Yoga. So in this chapter, Krishna talks about importance of working. Why Arjuna has to work. It is not just for Arjuna, it is for us too. So Arjuna was on the battlefield. His duty was to fight and protect the citizens. While we are not on the battlefield, does this apply to us? Yes, this applies to us because we are also on the battlefield of life. Every day is a Kurukshetra war in our life. Every day. So certain times we are baffled with what's my duty at this time. What should I do? What is right? What is wrong? So that we can learn from the message of Bhagavad Gita. How one has to work can be learned from the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna spends first half of the chapter, 6 chapters on this Karma Yoga only. So because we work, no, we are not a machine. We are a human being. We work, we do work. Eating is also a work. Sleeping is also a work. It's an action, right? It's an action. And we work for money. We work to take care of children. So what should be our consciousness while working? No? And how should we work? What is the right way to work? The same work which causes binding, the same causes which help us in liberation when work done with proper consciousness, right? So Krishna is going to emphasize that in the 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So in this chapter, quick summary. So Arjuna inquires, right? If my goal is to attain liberation, why should I work? Why can't I go to jungle and meditate? And Krishna says, no. First you need to have purification of mind, purification of consciousness. Only then you may be qualified. But in your case, you are a grihastha, family member, you continue to work because you are used to working. Just continue to work. If you artificially renounce the world, go to forest without purification of mind, you'll do all kinds of nonsense, whatever you did here in the forest also. So better you work, continue, be a householder, family member, you do the work. So Krishna uses the word pretender. If one goes to secluded place and tries to meditate, and if he still continues to think about all this life enjoyment, such a person is called a pretender. So that was first 10. And next, Krishna explains this material creation, how things work in this universe, right? So he says, I created this universe. I put in people in the earth planet, some people in the heavenly planet, and the people on the earth planet needs some necessities to survive and for their sustenance. They need food to eat, they need water, they need air to breathe. So all these necessities are being supplied by these demigods who reside in heavenly planet. So this is the system Krishna has made. And to fulfill our desires or necessities, one could approach demigods and they'll grant us. If one takes from the nature, whatever we see from the nature, it is air we breathe or the food we eat, everything is being provided to us. If we take from the nature and do not give it back, right, as a expression of gratitude, if we don't give it back to them, then we are called a thief. Krishna uses another strong word, thief. We are called a thief. And if we are eating the things without giving it back, so we are eating only sin. That's what Krishna says. So we spend so much time. What is the reasoning behind it on that? And so that completes the 16. And again, 17 to 35, Krishna talks about the person who is already at the liberated stage. Right? Krishna says, Arjuna, even if you're qualified to be a liberated soul, you still have to work. Why? To set an example. To set an example. Do you have an example, Krishna? Yes, that is Janaka. So Janaka is a king. He is a father of Sita Devi. Right? So Krishna gives example of Janaka, and he also gives example about himself. Krishna says, I'm not exempt. I too work. I need to take care of these universal affairs. If I don't work, everybody follows me. Then there will be so much disturbance in the society. I also work. I'm not exempt. That's what Krishna is saying. Everybody works. Krishna also works. So we'll see in this for 25 to 32 today. So what should be our consciousness? How should we work? And if we follow the instructions of God, what is the result? If we do not follow the instructions of the Lord, what happens? So we're going to see that today. So this is the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell, yoga ladder, right? So Krishna is not talking about this set of people, right? On the level 0 platform, this is level 0. So that is like a person who is, one second, there's the annotation here. Okay. Sorry. So a person, a person who is not following any rules and regulations of life is living a sinful life, right? So that kind of life is like animalistic life, is totally unregulated. And that is a level 0. Level 1, Krishna is talking about this level basically in this chapter. So level 1 is someone who is practicing some religion and who is following some rules and regulations, but he is so much into self-enjoyment, self-satisfaction, not too much into spirituality, right? And not too much into liberation, right? That is a level 1. And Krishna is trying to elevate us towards the level 2. So level 0, level 1, level 2. That is the Karma Yoga, the path of Karma Yoga. How one should work, what is the right consciousness one should have to work in this world. Right? And Krishna talks about various steps, Gnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. It's a ladder, right? And Krishna says, like, easy process is take up bhakti, the devotion towards the Lord. So one can attain liberation. You don't have to take birth again. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So we are Krishna in this chapter emphasizes the difference between Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga. and try to elevate us. Okay. So this is a verse we start today. 25. Act without attachment to set an example. So in this section, Krishna says, even though you are qualified to be a liberated soul, even though you are at that stage, you still have to work to set an example. But how one should work? Without attachment. Okay, maybe I'll ask someone to read this verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
शक्तः कर्माणि अविद्वांसो यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्यात् विद्वांस तथा शक्ताश्चिक्षुषुर्लोकसङ्ग्रहम्. As the ignorant performs their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path.
Thank you, Bro. So Krishna uses another strong word. Krishna is very much like to use another strong words here. In the previous verses, he used thief. Right? If you're taking from this material nature, you're not offering back as a gratitude to the people who are supplying the demigods, and including me, you are a thief. That's a strong word he used. He used another strong word. If you are eating without offering back, you are a sinful person. Right? So this is another strong word he is saying, avidvam, an ignorant person, an unlearned person, an ignorant person. This is another strong word. Right? I mean, Krishna is our supreme father. Right? So he's trying to give a strong message to us. It's very, very important. Then one has to take up the message of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is saying an ignorant person, how he works. A person who doesn't have the knowledge about Karma Yoga or any spiritual knowledge, how he works. And other person who is a learned person who has knowledge about spirituality, who is practicing spirituality, how he works. Slight difference, right? So both are doing the same work. They both are going to office. They both are going to take care of children. They're doing all the things same. The work is same. What is the difference? Consciousness is different, right? An ignorant person, sorry, is Krishna's word, not my word. An ignorant person who is not into spirituality, just lives a life for sense enjoyment. That a person, he works to attain wealth, happiness, sense gratification, and he gets attached to the results. He lives a life of attachment. Today I have this, tomorrow I need more and more. He becomes restless, always disturbed. Right? A same person, a learner person, he is also working, doing all the things what other guy is doing. But this person is totally detached. He also working, but totally detached. Right? Because his consciousness is different. He's working like a yogi. How to work like a yogi? One has to work for pleasure of the Lord, offering the results to the Lord, success or failure, basically bringing the God in our life and working for the pleasure of the Lord. So that way, one can remain detached. Even though one may possess everything, he can still be called as a renunciate. So Krishna is comparing the karma kandi versus karma yogi here, right? So there are many karma kandic rituals, right? So people go to demigods, right? So in Sanatana Dharma, there are many karma kandic rituals. If one wants money, if one wants power, right? So there are many karma kandic rituals. So they'll go, then approach a Brahmana priest, and they'll get their job done, right? They'll get the result. No problem solved. I have money. But how long that happiness lasts, that will last only for some time. Again, we want more. Again, this person does the same thing and again and again, and again. He's never get satisfied. So that's why he's get attached to this, a momentary happiness, which is derived from the things, material things. Momentary happiness from material things. He'll get attached to that. He'll get entangled into it. Right? Conversely, this person, karma yogi, he lives a life of detachment. The work is same. The same work is binding and the same work is liberating. So another simple example we can take in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada gives this analogy. So if we take the milk product, right? So milk product, we can make many things. So two items are paneer, the cheese, and this buttermilk, right? Same milk product, paneer and cheese. So this milk product paneer, it tastes nice, tastes so good when it is cooked properly with nice ingredients. It tastes so good. When we eat it, when we overeat it, of course we overeat it, then it creates some kind of disturbance in our stomach, right? So that is a problem. But the same milk product could be a solution. That is the buttermilk. When the buttermilk, when added some ingredients like ginger and so that will help in the digestion. Right? So same thing, same product, which is working as two different things. One is like creating problem and also could be solution. So the essence of this example is same karma, work is same. The same work which could bind us into this material world, which would pull us into this repeated cycle of birth and death when we work without awareness or any spiritual knowledge. So the same work is binding. And when we work with proper knowledge, with proper consciousness, right? Like a yogi and live in this world, we can be still called as renunciates and we can attain liberation. Work is same, the result is different. So that is the essence. 26, maybe. So in this verse, Krishna is saying, do not disturb the mind of others. The people who are on the path of karma kanda, who's trying to enjoy their life without any spiritual knowledge. So don't disturb them. Let them live. Right. So that's the message in this verse. We'll see. Maybe I'll request someone to recite this verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Na buddhi bedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam josayed sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan, so as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. A learned person should not include them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we can see Krishna is again comparing these karma kandis versus karma yogis, right? And yogis, how they work and how they should interact with each other, right? So the person who is practicing karma kanda, right? So that is like he's living a life only for his sense enjoyment, right? Not working towards liberation, and he's going to certain demigods and doing some puja or activities only for his own enjoyments. After that, tata, goodbye, right? Not even interested in anything, right? So Krishna is saying, you may be a learned person, you have the good knowledge about spirituality or the process to attain liberation, or you are already in the liberated platform. In any case, do not disturb this person. So why Krishna is saying that, you need to understand, okay? Why Krishna is supporting this process. God doesn't need to support. God wants us to liberate from this material world, but God is supporting this process of karma kanda. Why? So the reason is, so I showed the chart before, yoga ladder, right? So the level 0, the level 0 platform is no rules, no regulations. It's like animalistic life, right? So no rules, no regulations, and not even following any dharma. Now, everybody has a dharma. A husband has a dharma of husband, right? He has to take care of his wife and children, and a family householder, he has its own dharma. And when we work at office, our dharma is different. We have to dutifully do our job, right? So if a person is not following any dharma, any dharma, so that person is called a vikarmi, right? Vikarmi is not following any dharma, no rules and regulations, totally illicit life. So for one to follow dharma, there are certain things are given in our scriptures, right? So that is satyam, socham, daya, tapas. One has to be truthful in words and actions. Socham, cleanly. One has to be clean in the bodily things and also in the mind level. Socham, daya. One has to be compassionate towards himself and also other beings. Tapas, one has to do austerity also in their life. So these are the various things. If a person doing these things and living like that, such a person is following dharma. Right? One may say dharma is also hard. But anyway, so that is a criteria. And if a person is not even following any dharma, he falls into level 0 category. Right? But a person who is following dharma perfectly, but his purpose is different. His purpose is only enjoyment, for his own self-enjoyment. He do all selfish work for own self-enjoyment, doesn't work towards liberation. Right? He's better. He's better than a vikarmi, like an adharmic person. That's what Krishna is saying here. Right? He's still better even if a person performs karma kandic rituals, like all the duties for his own enjoyment. He's still better. He's at least because he's following dharma, rules and regulations. Right? That person is still better. Right? Don't disturb him. That's what Krishna is saying. Don't disturb that person, because that system itself is made by the Supreme Lord. Krishna is talking about the Vedas, right? Vedas. There is a Karma Kanda section of Vedas and a Gnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda section of Vedas. And we covered in our previous sessions about this. So Karma Kanda section of the Vedas deals with these various rituals, activities, how one can approach the gods, how one can attain material benefits. So that is also in the Vedas. That is also the knowledge given by God. Krishna is saying, I have given this knowledge. If a person is following that knowledge, that's fine. Don't disturb him. Let him follow, because slowly he will learn. Slowly he will learn detachment. Even though he works with attachment, like we look for happiness, right? So if I go to Florida if I think that Florida gives me happiness, I go to Florida every day. Every year. Example, every year I'm going to Florida, right? Every year. Now I want to increase my enjoyment. Maybe I'll go like every 6 months or 3 months. If I continue to go like every month, I'll be really fed up. I don't want to go this location anymore. Right? So that's how one learns detachment for things, right? So that's what Krishna is saying. A person following these karma kandic rituals, don't disturb him. Slowly he'll learn detachment, and slowly he'll work towards spiritualize his work and attain spiritual realization. Right? Another simple example we can give. A person wants to go to the 100th floor. They have an important meeting, right? So there are 3 people and they have very, very important meeting. They all want to go to 100th floor, right? So what options we have? What options they have, right? So one person looks at the lift, elevator, right? He just sits in the lift, elevator, he goes 100th floor, done. That's one option. Second option is like stairs. One can take the stairs. So some people like to take the stairs, right, with their own personal interest. Even though the elevator is available, one can go easily, but still some people want to take elevator. Wouldn't he reach the destination? He will reach the destination, but it takes time. He will reach destination, it takes time. Right? Other person, third person, maybe he look at like, okay, this is elevator, this is staircase. This is too much to climb. I will not do anything. I will not go. So if you see, the first person is compared to this spiritual practitioner, a karma yogi or a yogi. Right? And the second person is compared to a person like karma khandi. Is no spirituality, but only living for sense enjoyment. And the third person is compared to a adharmic person. He doesn't even want to do anything. Right? So this path is available. The path of self-realization, like working like a yogi, is available, but it's individual choice. So this is a deeper meaning there. So this is very, very 27. We'll go to the next verse, 27. This is very, very important verse and very practical. And maybe I'll ask someone to read this verse.
Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Thank you, Prabhu.
So this spirit soul, so why we work with attachment? Krishna is giving a comparative analysis here. Comparative analysis, like for a karma kandi versus a yogi, how they work. So why these people work and they get attached to these material things? Krishna is giving the reason here. Prakriti kriyama ahankara vimudatma, another strong word, right? So because of this false ego, a soul identifies himself to be the doer because of this false ego. But in fact, he is not the only doer. There are other doers too. There are other doers. So we'll try to analyze what exactly it means in great detail. So why ignorant a person like Karma Kandi works with attachment? As I said, because he thinks himself the doer. For example, if a cricket player is playing cricket, right? So he puts his effort to score 100 runs, like a century. So once he scored century, what's his mind? He's like, he raises his bat, he jumps here, right? He says, I did this, I achieved this. It's my own strength, I achieved this. Right? That's what people see. I mean, there's nothing wrong in that. I mean, that is true. I mean, it's because of their own effort, they won the game, right? And when they start enjoying the results, right, of winning again and again, so they'll get attached to that. I want to score 100 runs anyway. If they do not score, they'll get devastated. If a person is so much attached to winning, if there is a failure, it's a big pain for them, right? So that's how people get attached to the things. And let's talk about why people get attached. Krishna is saying, because of this false ego. Because of this false ego. So what is that? Let's see. So if in a team, let's take an example. If it's in a team, there are 5 people are working. They are doing a project work, right? Any organization, there is some, we can take any organization. Let's take IT organization. There is a project work is going on. 5 people are working, right? So everybody is putting the similar effort. All the 5 people are putting the similar effort. And they're working so hard day and night. But if one person, he tries to be smart, right? He tries to claim the credit for himself. He says like, I did whole work. These guys did nothing. Right? He tries to popularize himself. What we call that person? Egoistic. This person is an egoistic. Now we work so hard and he wants to take the credit. He wants to take the credit for himself. So such a person, we call him as like egoistic person. Out of his ego, he's trying to satisfy his ego and he wants to take credit all for himself. Krishna is also using the same word here, ego, ahankara. So for our activities also, what do we do in our life? Daily activities, maintaining our body, breathing, eating, taking care of everything, all the activities, bodily maintenance, and also the work we do to earn money, all our activities. We are not the only doer. Soul is not the only doer. There are other doers too who are helping us. That means there are other team members too. Who are the team members? We'll see that. But if I take the credit that I did it, I achieved it, it's because of my own strength I achieved it. If I say that, I'm called as ahankari. the person with false ego. So who are the other doers then in our life? I mean, we know we are this body, we are this body, we are this soul, right? And Krishna is saying the soul itself is not the doer. There are other doers too. Who are those? We'll try to understand with this. In next slide, we'll see that in detail. But before that, this is a small thing. But if someone says me, right? So I'm living in this house with my children and wife, right? If I'm living in this house, and if someone says me, okay, you are not the only people in this house. There is one more person. There is one more person, but you don't see him. That's creepy, right? So we'll be scared. Like, who is that other person? I don't see him every day. Right? Is he a ghost? Is he a devil or ghost? No, it's not. It's not the thing. So certain things we can see, certain things we cannot see, right? So just a joke. Yes. So connecting to this point, we'll try to analyze who are the other doers. Okay. So the other doers are, Krishna is saying here, Prakriti. Prakriti. Prakriti means nature. I mean, is it the nature we see outside? Right? Nice trees and breeze. Is that the nature? I mean, yes, that is the nature, physical nature we can see with our eyes. But the nature consists of, the Prakriti consists of these three things: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Right? So in the beginning of creation, these were created. These things were created, and this material nature, whatever we see, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything is a byproduct of these elements. Sattva guna, rajas, and tamas, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So let's try to analyze and see why Krishna is saying these are also the doers. If we know, right, I'm working, that means like I'm working, right? Maybe my soul is giving me the energy to the work. And Krishna is saying not just that, you also have these other team members. That is Prakriti. So let's look at this bodily, how we are composed, right? So we have this gross body. Gross body is a sthula sharira, which is a gross body, which we can see, which we can feel, we can touch it and experience it. Okay, this is my face, this is my hands, this is my head, this is a gross body. And we also have a subtle body. And before that, the gross body is made of these elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. I mean, earth, when I say earth, is not mud. We are not made of mud, but we are a product of mud. That is the bone structures, like hard particles in our body. I mean, it is the energy from the mud, right? Like water, air, ether. No, the gross body is made of these elements. So we covered this in our previous sessions in detail. So I'm not going to go detail. So we have this gross body, and we also have this subtle body. Subtle body, which is made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So mind is like a data storage, right? We look at the thing and we remember, right? It's like a storage. And we have this intelligence. Intelligence does the three things, right? Discrimination, determination, and decision making. There's a mind and intelligence. There is a difference there. And false ego, so the subtle body, we don't see that, but it is within us. This is another tenant within us. I mean, we are this soul has these two coverings. One is the subtle body. This is covering one, another covering two. That is a gross body. Right? The subtle body made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So one may ask this question, okay? You are saying we are souls, but I don't feel it. I don't realize I'm a soul. Right? And you are saying we also have a subtle body. I don't feel it. I just feel I'm like physical body. Why so? what is blocking this? What is this blocker? What is stopping us to realize ourselves? That is ahankara. That is false ego. Right? That is also one of the element that is blocking us from our realization. So one has to convert this false ego to true ego with the process of yoga, the Gnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. When it converts, will convert to true ego, then we know, like, oh, okay, this is my this is how I made. Right? So what we know will, what we are, we will know when we change this false ego to true ego by the process of yoga process given by Krishna. Anyway, so we know we are a gross body, we are a subtle body, and we are a soul, and we also have one more person, that is super soul, Paramatma within us. Krishna says in various verses of Bhagavad Gita, he resides as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity. So we have soul in the heart, we also have super soul in the heart. Okay. In 13th chapter, Krishna talks about in detail, like, what is a what he does. He just sits and relax, having fun in our heart. So he also has a duty to do. And God also has a duty to do in the heart, right? So he talks about that in the 13th chapter. That is, in short, overseer upadrishta anumanta. He oversees our actions and he sanctions our actions. Oversees and sanctions. Okay, I'm not going to go in detail now. So this is our body composition. We are a soul. We also have a super soul. We have this subtle body. We have this gross body. And for us to function, there is another component needed, that is Prakriti, which consists of three modes: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Right? The team members are the super soul. We are also one of the team member, super soul, soul. And other team member is super soul, and Prakriti also another team member. And Krishna adds two other members in the 18th chapter that we'll see later. But these are the team members. Krishna is saying, don't take credit for yourself. You are not the only person you think you are achieving something. There are other factors too. Don't take the credit for yourself. Don't be super proud. Don't be proud about your achievements by thinking you are the thing. You are the only person doing the thing. The example here is team members, right? Yeah. So we are always influenced by these three modes. Let's try to learn a little more about these three modes. So we are always influenced by these three modes: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. So mode of goodness, our mind is cool, our consciousness is cool. We can experience in the morning time, early morning time. In the mode of passion, we are extremely passionate, super energetic, driving on 100 on a 30 road, right? So that is super passionate. And tamas is totally lazy, doing all illicit things, right? That is tamas. So we have different proportions of this in our consciousness, and we are propelled by these three modes. We are propelled by these three modes. We are pushed by these three modes, in short. So there is if you buy a, what is that, mower, right? Lawn mower. So there is a self-propeller. The self-propeller, it moves by itself, right? So we are also propelled by these three modes. So in our body, we do various actions, right? Certain actions we are conscious, certain actions we are not conscious. So certain actions we are not conscious. What are those? Like breathing. Am I conscious of my breathing? No, it's a natural thing. It happens. And maybe if someone puts like let me feel my breathing, right? As part of meditation, that's a mindfulness. In Buddhism, there is a mindfulness meditation. One tries to feel their breathing. That's it. That's a mindfulness. If any thoughts coming, one has to ignore and just feel that they're breathing. That's a mindfulness exercise in Buddhism. Right? But anyway, are we feeling that? I mean, if we put our consciousness to it, yes, we feel it. Otherwise, we don't feel it. Or it's a natural function. We don't even know what is happening. You're breathing. I'm talking, I'm also breathing, right? And there's a heartbeat, right? So do you feel the heartbeat happening? It just happens naturally. So blood is circulated throughout the body, right? Each and every cell of the body, blood is circulated. Right? If the blood is not circulated, what if blood is not circulated to a cell, right? It's called a dead cell. Right? Science says it's a dead cell. Anyway, and blood circulation also, right? Blood circulation, heartbeat, everything is these are all actions where it's functioning. I know it's because of this Prakriti and Paramatma within us. Things are happening naturally. We are not conscious about it. And certain things we are conscious about it, like when you are hearing, listening. Yes, we are listening. We know we are listening, but some people don't know. If my wife says something, I don't pay attention. I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening, but am I really listening? No, I'm not really listening. Right? So you're conscious of listening, so we'll be listening, right? So eating, these are conscious activities. Like when we eat, we feel it. Yeah, I'm eating. Yes, that's true. And I'm speaking, talking. I can feel it. I know. These are conscious activities. And all these activities are done by this Prakriti, by the supervision of Paramatma. Everything is functioning. We are not the only player in the team. There are other team players too. Okay. So how do I know the modes are acting on me? This is a very important question. How do I know? Maybe can someone answer, how do we know that modes are acting on us?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Like we have change of emotions. We get angry all of a sudden. We feel sad.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's it. Right. So all these emotions, negative emotions like extreme anger, extreme laziness, and these are all these are all this these are all from this Prakriti, right? Mode of passion and ignorance. Right. So we know very well. But when do we know? Certain people they don't even know. So these are working, but we are not conscious about it. Right? So when can we become conscious about it? Like these modes are acting on me. When we pay our attention to it, simple. When we pay our attention to our breathing, so we'll know we are breathing, right? Right? We know we are breathing. If we put our mind on the breathing, so we'll know we are breathing. So same thing. We'll put our consciousness on this, activities of the modes. We will know. When we are extreme passion, right? Do hankering, like so we look at something, like when you look at someone has a good nice car, the hankering develops. Oh, I wish I want to have the car. Right? So these are the symptoms of passion. Hankering develops. I want to attain it. I want to attain it. I'll do whatever it takes to attain it. It will go from passion to ignorance. With extreme passion, he'll work hard to attain it. With extreme passion, if he couldn't have enough money to attain a car, he'll try to do all other things, all nonsense things to attain this car. Right? So he changes consciousness from passion to ignorance. Right? So anyway, we will know. It's not unknown. We will know the actions, how we are being pulled by these modes. Okay, so how to elevate ourselves? Simple, by the process of Krishna. That's what Krishna is going to tell in these 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. When you be a yogi, right? Practice karma yoga, gnana yoga, bhakti yoga. Mostly bhakti yoga, the process of bhakti yoga, that will help us to elevate our consciousness from lower consciousness, extreme rajas and extreme tamas, to sattva guna. Purification of mind happens, right? Purity in mind, purity in thought process, purity in your actions. Okay, so who is the real doer? We all know in this verse today, we are not the only team player. There are other team players too. That is Paramatma and Prakriti. We should not ourselves take credits. If we ourselves take credits, Krishna himself said, we are ego. So if you work, this is a message. Okay, if you work out of this ego, you think this is mine, I enjoy this achievement, then I'll get attached to it. I'll get attached to it. If you think like there are other doers too, I'm not the only person. I'm not egoistic. I learned detachment. It's because of God's mercy I achieved this. It's because of God's mercy. I got this promotion. I got this good money. Everything. If we attribute that to God and the Prakriti, then we'll be naturally detached. All right. So coming back to this, is Arjuna's decision impulsive? Yes, Arjuna wants to renounce the world. He doesn't want to work. So that's why Krishna is speaking everything just for Arjuna. Elevate your consciousness from rajas to tamas, be in satoguna, and don't think you are the doer. So how ignorant was, how does the ignorant acts? And this is talking about, Krishna is talking about a karma kandi, right? So he's like, he thinks himself the doer. He's proud of his activities and achievements. And that's how he engages in all material things, not spiritual things. Because of his continuous engagement, he becomes attached to it. Because of excessive attachment, he's not ready for spiritual activities or spiritual realization. That means he has to, because he accumulates more and more karma. As he accumulates more and more karma, he has to take birth again in this, and goes through this repeated cycle of birth and death. These are all connected. So a life lesson here. If I do not even realize that I am tied by the invisible shackles, then how will I ever be able to free myself from the bondage? So we are all tied by these invisible shackles. The joke I said, right? So this, if someone says someone also living in my house, right, and we don't see them, right? So same thing. These are these invisible shackles, the prakriti, which consist of three modes: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. We don't see them with physical eyes, but we can understand them. We can realize them by our nature, how we live, how we do our activities. Sometimes our mode of passion propels us to do the things passionately. All right. So sometimes mode of ignorance propels us to do all kinds of adharmic things, right? We don't see them, but we are in this cage. We are we are shackled by these three chains. Chain is goodness chain, mode of passion chain, and mode of ignorance chain. Three chains we are shackled. So if I don't see them, how would I release myself? So this is a question to ask ourselves. The answer is yes, we can see them when we are in the path of spirituality, when we are strictly following the message of Bhagavad Gita. We can see these activities of these three modes on us, and we'll try to be in the mode of goodness, and we'll elevate our consciousness. Okay. Okay, it's already 7:25 as promised. So I said I'm going to talk about the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. So why do we celebrate this Ratha Yatra? Maybe I'll stop here and we'll continue. So I spent more time on those verses. They're really, really important. So this we'll see in the next session. So next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about this Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra. So we are celebrating this festival in the St. Louis area at the Creek or Lake on July, like coming this Sunday, right? It starts from 2 p.m. So I'm going to talk about the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. So we'll try to understand who is Jagannath, and who is Jagannath, why God's eyes are so wide open, why he's standing like this, right? So you see this, his hands are straight like this. So this is Lord Jagannath. And next to Jagannath is Mother Subhadra. She is the sister of Lord Jagannath. And the other side is Lord Baladeva. He is Balaram, Lord Balaram. So when Lord appeared on the earth planet, in the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna appeared, and he appeared, and along with him, there are two other personalities appeared, that is Balaram himself. So let's talk about Krishna and Balaram. Right? So Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna and Balaram, and we'll talk about Jagannath. So Krishna is a Supreme Lord, right? And Balaram is the expansion of the Supreme Lord. So about Balaram, Balaram is a servant Lord. He always tries to assist Lord in his work. He tries to serve the Lord in various capabilities. He becomes the chariot. He becomes the kartal. He becomes the mridanga, right? So he always tries to serve the Lord. So Balaramji, when the Lord appeared as Lord Rama, this same Balaram has appeared as Lakshmana. He assisted Lord Rama. And during this Krishna's pastime also, Lord Balaram, helped, assisted Supreme Lord in many ways and served him. So he's a servant Lord. He serves the Lord. He's the same God. There's no difference. There's slight difference, but one serves the Lord, one takes the service. Same Lord. Okay. So Jagannath, we'll talk about Jagannath. So there is a nice pastime, which explains like why the Lord looks like this, with eyes wide open, and he has hands straight, right? So the pastime connects back to a story in Vrindavana. So that's where Lord appeared, in Vrindavana. So Lord had performed so many pastimes. Unlike other pastimes, when Lord appeared as Rama or Narasimha, Lord had not performed various pastimes. But when he appeared as Krishna, he did wonderful pastimes. So many wonderful, beautiful pastimes. So many pastimes he did. And one day, all the gopis of Vrindavana, all the women of Vrindavan, the city is Vrindavan city. So they all assembled in a place, and they started talking about the pastimes of Lord Krishna, all the pastimes. So one gopi said, Krishna did this. Other gopi said, Krishna did this. So likewise, they're all talking about the pastimes of Krishna. Everybody, I know this about Krishna. I know this about God, what he did. Every gopi has their own realization and personal connection with Krishna. And at that time, so Lord came, like Krishna himself. He went to that place along with Shubhadra and along with Balramji. They all three, they went and they want to meet these people, these Brajvasis. So they were outside the door. They did not open the door. They were just outside. I think Subhadra was guarding the guarding this place. Only Krishna and Balram went there, and they stood there and they were just listening. They did not go inside the hall. They were just outside the door and just listening. They were listening all the pastimes, how nicely they were, all the gopis of Vrindavana, how nicely they were glorifying the Supreme Lord. Right? So Lord Krishna, just by listening his own pastimes, he was in ecstasy. He himself was in ecstasy. Like sometimes we hear something very nice thing, right? Any good things, or we have these ecstatic symptoms appear, right? Our hair stand on our body, tears flow from our eyes. It's the symptoms of ecstasy. So Lord himself has experienced that symptoms of ecstasy just by hearing his own pastimes. And at that time, his eyes were wide open, fully open, like this, like fully open. He was not even closing his eyes. He was paying 100% attention. He was 100% listening. He was not even closing his eyes. And Balaramji was also same position. He was not even closing his eyes, fully paying attention. His eyes was wide open. And both of them, like their hands were stiff. they were, they want to open the door, like their hands are stiff. That's the reason that the Jagannath hands are straight, straight like this. And Subhadra Maharani, Subhadra Devi, a sister of Krishna and Balaram, she sees, and she also goes into ecstasy, looking at this beautiful form of the Lord. Her eyes also were wide open, and her hands also were like stiff and straight. These are the symptoms of ecstasy, like extreme love of Godhead. And this we rarely see that. I mean, there are great personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and various people. They also have experienced this pure love of Godhead, where they also exhibited these symptoms of ecstasy. But anyway, and Lord, at that time, Narada Muni comes. And Narada Muni looks at the beautiful form of the Lord. So looking at the Lord, and Narada Muni says, in short, so there's many things. In short, Narada Muni says, Krishna, I want to capture this form of the Lord in my heart. I want to capture this form of yours in my heart. Then at that time, Krishna says, yes, I'll appear in the same form as Jagannath in the Puri. Right? And there are other details too, like when was the first time Lord appeared, right? In this, if you see this form of the Lord, so Lord is like a wooden form. It's not, if you see any deities, any temple, if you go to Hindu temple, it's a stone form, right? It's a stone form. And in our ISKCON temple, we have a brass deity in the brass form, right? So, or some other places, it's a golden form made with gold. But the deities here in Jagannath are unique and special. So they are made out of wood. So that's why Lord Jagannath is called Daru Brahman. Daru Brahman. So the Lord in the form of a wood. So there is another pastime connected to Indraduna Maharaj. It's a long story, but just to keep it short. So Indraduna Maharaj, Lord, in short, just to keep it short, is a long story. But Lord says, I'll appear. I already appeared in these trees. So take these trees and you can have Vishwakarma who can carve these deities for us, right? So that so this wood was brought, and the Lord at that time Vishwakarma appears, and he says like, I can take care of it, and he carves this beautiful form of the Lord. I'm just keeping it short, so I want to talk about these other things, other pastime too. So this is another big story. So that was the first time. So Vishwakarma himself, the Vishwakarma is like a universal architect. Okay, he is the first time. He's a person who first time carved these deities of the Lord. Right. So with his hands straight, with big eyes. Okay. So why we celebrate this Ratha Yatra? Right. So why we do this procession of the Lord? Right. So Lord rides on this chariot. So there is another pastime, connecting pastime. So that is, we know Lord Krishna stayed in Vrindavan for some time. Oh, there is a message. What is this? Yeah, okay. So Lord Krishna stayed in Vrindavan and he performed many pastimes. And after some time, at around 16 years, he goes out of Vrindavan and he goes to Mathura and Dwaraka, and he performed rest of the pastimes, right? And he did not even go to Vrindavan. He never went to Vrindavan back. He came out and that's it. He never went back. But one day, there was a solar eclipse day. So that time, all the people, everybody goes to a place of pilgrimage and they take bath there. So that time, all the residents of Vrindavana, all the gopis of Vrindavana, they all went and they went to take bath. And Krishna, Balarama, and Subhadra, these three people, Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra, they all also went to this place to take bath there. Okay. So that time, all these gopis of Vrindavana saw this Krishna after 100 years. After 100 years, so Krishna, he promised that he'll come back. He never went. So they saw Krishna and they rushed towards Krishna and they pulled the chariot of Krishna. They pulled the chariot of Krishna. They saw Balaram. They pulled the chariot of Balaram, and they saw Subhadra Devi there. So they pulled the chariot of Subhadra Devi and they dragged. They pulled the chariot all the way from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So that pastime is still celebrated, where Lord is put on this chariot and there is a big procession, and this event is celebrated all over the world. So that glory we got by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So he started this doing this celebration in the West, like in the US and other countries all over worldwide. Every place, this wonderful ceremony is being celebrated everywhere. So that is a pastime of Ratha Yatra, why the procession happens. Okay, so it's already 7:33. We are over time. So we are celebrating this festival this Sunday, like in few days. So I request everyone to take part in this event, and we'll see you there definitely. I'll be there. I think I have work there. I'll be there at the welcome booth. So hopefully, if you come there, we can meet. Okay, so I'll end the session here. Hare Krishna. And if you have any questions or thoughts or sharings, you can feel free to share. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.